Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more FM23 with the Orange Foxes, where we have just ended the season 3, the 24-25 season. It just ended, and we are taking we're taking a look at the review here at the end of the season, and we are also in this episode gonna take a look at the new transfers, the preseason, if I have made any changes to the tactic during the preseason and stuff like that as well. So let's get into it. Let's see how it all went down here this last season. Well, Olgun, 7.71 in average rating. Man, would it be lovely to have him next season, but we will see if we can get some kind of deal over the line with him. I doubt it. I have my doubts, but we'll see. Ekman, also a very good signing mid-season. Signing of the season even. Wow. Yeah, he came in and really helped us out with making sure that we got a lot of points over the on the board. I think it was a really good deal going for a better goalkeeper mid-season. Özgun, fantastic signing as well. Really good centre back. Yeah, I'm very happy I got him as well. Mikkel was definitely worth getting. 7.05 as a carrilero, mostly playing as a carrilero. Really good job. Funmang, same deal. I think he was definitely worth getting. With his price tag on him, with only 130 wages, been absolutely fantastic. Not as many goals and assists you could probably want from him, but still pretty good averages in terms of the rating, so I can't really complain. Lobek, pretty decent. Kraft, pretty decent. Of course, a backup. Sitting on the bench. Ustanes, he was injured for the first part of the season, but he actually did quite well later on, and I wouldn't mind having him around for next season as well, maybe for a backup, but maybe he doesn't want to be a backup. We'll see. I think there's going to be a lot of changes this episode to the players and new players we're getting in and players getting out of the club as well. Costeville, backup, he was a decent backup, but nothing really out of the ordinary. Mikkel Madsen, also kind of rotation with Costeville, I suppose. But again, it's sort of okay, but not really that great either. Not a single assist for him. That's a bit of a worry, actually. Andresen, he played the first part of the season. And to be honest, he's a youngster, and he's probably nowhere near the level we were looking for, and he's definitely not worth the level for next season, so he is probably going to be playing for the B team or something like that. Linnekile, I actually think he was quite good. Playing as a backup, sitting on the bench, very often coming in very late, as you can see. I think he did fine with 2 goals and 2 assists. I think that's pretty decent. Hans Lien, I think that's one of the biggest disappointments. In terms of how much we're paying him, I think it's 400 actually. Yeah, 400 wages. I think he was a pretty big disappointment. He never really looked any good. 2 goals, 2 assists. Very big disappointment. Hattel, he did alright. As a youngster from our own academy, I believe he actually was. Pretty decent season, I would say. Lauksan, that's the other one. That's the other big disappointment. I think Lauksan was just not good enough for the level he should be playing. So, yeah. Mads Bayer, also a little bit of a disappointment. I thought he would be a lot better than what he actually was. But overall, I am pretty happy with the signings we had. Of course, we won the league, so I must have been pretty good at, getting good players in. So Hin actually played really well for Nesby. 7.03. Interesting. So Mogensen did quite well in Hillerød. Okay. Yeah, nice to see that some of them actually did quite well elsewhere, because often you will see that when the players that is moving away from you, they just plumber into oblivion or just stop playing entirely. Good to see that most of them actually are playing still. I like that. All right, let's see the season result here. What is there to say? It's been a fantastic season. Ended up being crowned champion. That's can't really. What else is there to say here? It was just an absolutely fantastic season all the way through, pretty much. We had a couple of, just a couple of games where things didn't work out for us for one reason or the other, but for the most part, we were destroying the opponents, both in terms of the result, but also in terms of just how we played. So great stuff. Moments to remember. That was a pretty big win against Ishøy. I don't really remember the game, but yeah. Okay, both Olgun with 3 goals and Ørnebo with 2 goals on that one. Pretty good. I think this one was probably the match to remember. 4-1 against Thisted. That was a big result in the league. Massive result. Absolutely huge. Goal of the season, don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Finances, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Because now we need to use even more money when we move up a league, and it's not like we are gonna get more money, so it's gonna be a tough preseason. I think last season was a tough preseason, finding some good players, a lot of changes from last preseason as well, but this one is gonna get even more hard to get through, because it's gonna be hard to get good enough players over the line that can make sure that we're not getting relegated. It's gonna be a real tough challenge. So, how we lined up, yeah, that's pretty, I mean, yeah, I don't know. But other than that, it looks pretty much, maybe Larsen instead of Mortensen down here, but yeah, it's quite, I mean, this is not true. I mean, Erneball was not playing the target forward, so yeah, that's not true. But anyway, doesn't really matter too much. The accolades, Ulgun with Fans Player of the Season, I mean, 100%. Young Player of the Season, also Ulgun, he's only 23. Oscar Ekman was Signing of the Season. I'm surprised by that, but I guess Ulgun couldn't be the Signing of the Season because he wasn't our signing, it was just a loan deal. Goal of the Season, Svaling, interesting. Top goal scorer, most assist, Erneball, 17 assists for Erneball. Wow. Oh, it's all the corners and all the free kicks, and yeah. That makes sense. And I believe he does have 12 in corner taking. So yeah, it makes sense. Ulgun, Player of the Match 12 times. Wow. Average rating 7.7, and Özgun with pass completed 49, sorry, per 90. Most overall goals by a player, and yeah, that's a new record. That's a new record. That's also a new record. Yep, I think all of them are pretty much okay. Worst disciplined player, Mortensen. Interesting. All right. Cool. 1 minute and 3 seconds. He scored after 1 minute and 3 seconds. That's a new record as well. Interesting. Maybe we can do that better in the future, but history in the making. What are they saying? Your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and such a feat didn't go unrewarded at our end of season award ceremony. Cool. Talk about defying the odds. Lyseng didn't let a bad start drop them from... I'm sorry, what? Did we have a bad start? These quotes doesn't make any... It's the same as last season. It doesn't make any sense because it's not true. We didn't have a bad start. We had a fantastic start to the season. We had a bad mid-season where we lost or draw 5 or 6 games in a row, but we didn't start bad. We had a fantastic season when we started out. So yeah, that's not true. Again, it's... I don't know what to say. The dynamic, whatever. There you go. For this season, it's right there. Or actually, maybe it's more than that. No, it's this part. There you go. You can see it. You can pause it if you want to. I don't really care too much about this timeline. There we go. We're done. We're done with this season. We can move into the preseason now. Oh, guys, that was a very, very long preseason. Yeah, I'm at the 25th of July now, and the preseason is pretty much over. We are 1 day, or actually, I think we are on the day where we have the first league game. But we're not gonna play any games today. We're gonna look at players that left us, and also players that came in, and tiny bits about the tactic and stuff like that. Maybe a couple of other things as well. So first off, these are the released players, and as you can see, there are quite a few. Now, all of these that you see right here are actually just youngsters. None of them are important. Who is important is these 5 guys down here. That is, the guys that left us. That, again, it's the same deal this season. There was guys on contract, these guys specifically, who wanted 200 to 300% upgrades on their contract, and yeah, no. Some of them have signed a new contract. We'll look at them in just a bit here, but yeah, Bahi, he left us. And as you can see, 0 wages. I think he wanted 800 in wages or something like that. Crazy, right? Oh, what's going on here? Why is it not showing anything? That's interesting. Oh, it went to... What? It went to another season that we haven't played. That's interesting. So Mortensen as well, he left us. Let's see if I haven't even checked if they got any. He did actually get an upgrade on his wages compared to ours, but still not a big upgrade like he wanted. But I feel like the AI here, or the coding, is a little bit odd, because See, he's just a free agent, Lyseng. I believe he actually didn't want a new contract probably because he didn't play. So that makes sense. I'm okay with that. But yeah, some of these guys just wanted way too big contracts, and apparently they can't even get contracts otherwise. It's like, I believe Ustandis wanted 700 in wages, and now he's in another league further down the list and don't get any wages at all. I would have given him 300 or something like that, but nope, he wanted 2 to 3 times more than that, and yeah, that's not gonna happen. Hansen Lien, I believe he also didn't want a new contract. We barely played him, so free agent. Yeah, but that's okay. So that was the contract, the guys from last season that didn't really want to stay, and then we also, of course, have other that have left us. Let's take a look at them as well. I thought there was more than one guy that actually left us, but that's not true. There is only one right now that has left us, but the transfer window is still open, so someone could still go out of the window. Now, I am surprised how much they're giving him in wages. 1,500! Costa Biele. I can completely understand why you left us for 1,500. That is insane to give Costa Biele 1,500. Alright, I mean, I can't really complain about that, because that is a big amount of money for, a player that had played for us at least. Fair enough, he's gone. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of this new squad planner, because you have to actually put in all the players manually. Yes, that's true. You have to do that. This ask assistant thing, apparently it doesn't work, or it doesn't work with players that are non-contracted, or you have to add them manually. It's really annoying to do that, but it is what it is, right? Anyway, I want to go through the players in here instead of another place, right? So we have new players here, and we also have players that have signed new contracts. That's why I'm showing this page instead, I suppose. And we can go through them in here. So in the goalkeeper area, we have more than these. We also have Jebsen Jakob and Wang still, but I don't expect them to play anything. I am expecting these two to play, right? So Ekman from last season, he actually had a contract that is running out. We have a couple of players that have contract that runs out midway through the season, which could be a problem, but we'll see if that's going to be a problem for us. Anyway, he's going to be the first goalkeeper in there, at least for the first half of the season. And then we also got Aske Andresen, who is, just a backup. And yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with the goalkeeper area. I'm not too concerned about that one. Defenders. Well, let's start with the wingbacks on the right-hand side here. So we do have a new name in here, and it is Albin Sundgren on 230 wages. He is 24 years old, and yeah, he's not the best. Honestly, he's not the best. I think it's actually the first player I signed for money. I believe I actually signed this guy for money. Yeah, 675. So there we go. Now he's nothing special, right? He's nothing special. I couldn't really find anything really good here. One of our biggest problems right now as a club is that we can't really go out and have a really huge amount of scouting range. We can't really scout in Sweden, Norway. We do get information from there, as you can see. We get Sweden, but we don't really have a huge amount of information. I think this guy was probably someone that was his agent offered him or something like that, right? So we don't really have a lot of scouting range, and we can't really just go out and just find really, really good players with our scout right now. I like this guy because he is very well rounded. He doesn't have any weak holes in him, and he do have the physicals to go up and down the pitch quite often. So yeah, I'm fairly happy with him coming in. And then we still have Laursen, who had a fantastic season last season. He is kind of the same kind. I mean, he's sort of the same as Sundgren. He can go up and down the flank all day long, but some of his attributes over here is a little bit lower. But especially the crossing is a problem, and the tackling is also a problem and marking as well when he needs to defend. Where maybe Sundgren is just a little bit better and a little bit more well-rounded than Laursen is. But both of them will probably get that game time. And as a backup, we have Krath. I think it's a pretty good backup to have because he can also play as a defensive central defender, or a ball-playing defender, actually, because he do have the numbers to do ball-playing defender, so he can definitely go in there if he needs to. So he's a pretty good backup to have, and also 19, which is going to be very important this season. There is a couple of rules that are different in the league. We don't need them on the bench anymore. We actually need to register them. We need 4 registered players that is from our club, and then we also need 15 homegrown to Denmark. So yeah, that's a big change, right? That's a big change. Anyway, that's the right back area. Next up is the central defenders, or ball-playing defenders, actually, because that is what we are playing with, right? We do have 2 new names here, so let's check them out. Let's just go into them and check him out first here. This guy is called Panjiskovic. Should we rename him? You know what? I am gonna rename him. I'm gonna butcher that name so many times that it's not even fun. I'm sorry, but he's a real player, right? So I'm sorry, man. If you are, he's not watching this. He will never watch this. He probably don't even know he's part of FM Manager, or Football Manager. He probably don't even know it. I think I'm okay with calling him Panjiskovic. You know what? I think I can say that. Panjiskovic. I think I'm okay with saying that. Now, this guy is... He's not exactly a ball-playing defender, but he was a pretty good... When I saw him, I was like, ooh, yes, let me please have some of that. Just because of how high his numbers are in the specific areas for a no-nonsense centre-back. If we look at it as a ball-playing defender, he definitely... the composure is... Yeah. Yep. Technique, vision. I mean, he's not a ball-playing defender. He is a no-nonsense defender. I'm still going to play him as a ball-playing defender and see how it goes. And if he can't play that, we're going to specifically tell this guy to play as a no-nonsense. But hopefully he's going to be good. He is probably right now the first choice in there, but we'll see about that. We'll see about that. The other one is Hannes Zetterholm, who is also a Swedish... What was the other guy? He was Danish, wasn't he? Pjankovic, yeah. But with this name, he sounds like someone coming from the Balkans, but... I mean, that could be true. The other guy is Zetterholm, 29-year-old Swedish guy. He's on a very... I think this is a mistake. This could be a very big mistake by my part. I was like, oh, should I just take him? Because I couldn't find anything better than him at the time, which is not true anymore. Now I have found someone that is better than him, but... Yeah, you know, now we have the trouble with, you know, playing with the wages, right? So 450 wages, that's... He has to be very, very good for that amount. Yeah, I think it might be a mistake, this one, just because of the money we pay him. He's not bad. I like these players that have a very well-rounded, balanced kind of setup, but yeah, the wages. I hope he's gonna be good for us. I really do, but we never know. So, and the last 2 is Hjalte Andersen, who was actually in our B team for a long time. He has been part of the first team squad a couple of seasons ago, but he went down to the B, and now he's coming up again because of the registration of us needing, what is it called, homegrown players. So he's coming up again, and he's not too bad, but he's definitely 3rd choice. And when we also have Kraft in there, the wingback, who is 4th choice or 3rd choice. We will see about that, actually. But yeah, I don't know if I feel like this is good enough. I'm concerned about this right-hand side of our ball-playing defender area. A little bit concerned about it. So let's take a look at the ball-playing defenders on the left-hand side. Now, we haven't really upgraded here. So I'm concerned about our ball-playing defenders overall. We might have a new player coming in as well here. Yeah, we might actually have a new one coming in on the left-hand side. But we do still have Özgun, who signed a new contract. I believe 150 wages. No, he didn't sign. He's one of those that is running towards the end of the year. So yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm kind of... Yeah, I'm okay with him starting in as a starter on the left-hand side. I think he's good enough to do that. And then we have Sørensen, who didn't play last season at all. He is getting old now, and yeah, if I could avoid playing him at all, I would probably like that. He also lost his captaincy. Yeah, he's not a captain anymore. Then we got Hertel, again, one of the youngsters, homegrown. We kind of need him up here just for the registration. And he is a backup, you know, 3rd choice, 4th choice, right? And then we also have Kraft. I'm not sure actually why he's here, because he can't really play on the left-hand side without a left foot. At least to my opinion is, if they're not left-footed, they're not gonna play on the left-hand side. especially not as a ball-playing defender. That's just not gonna happen. So we have 3 players here. So the last of the defender areas, the fullback on the left-hand side, and I do think it's gonna stay as a fullback. I could probably change it as a wingback, but for now I am still gonna go with it being the lesser going forward of the 2 that we have. So Oscar Wang, that's a new player, 250 wages. Let's go in and look at him. I think this is one of the better players that I got in, and for the price of 250 wages, I think we got a pretty damn decent player here, probably first choice in there. Now, what is kind of fun about this guy is that he is actually an inverted winger. So I will probably play him as a fullback, just because he also got a reasonable left foot. But what is probably fun with him is that he will probably often cut a little bit in and then cut it over to the other. I think when we're playing him, we will often see him cut inside and then use his right foot instead, just because he is naturally right-footed. We'll see how that goes, because we don't actually need the fullback to go down the flanks. We don't really need him to do that too often. And his crossing is also suggesting that he's probably not very good at that. But he is pretty, his mentals and his physicals and his marking and tackling is actually good enough to be very defensive-minded and maybe be pretty good on the ball in the midfield. So I think he will sit a little bit more to the right than you would normally see a fullback. In any cases, I'm pretty happy with getting him in. I think he's a very good player. The other choices we have is the same as last season, actually a little bit less, I would say. But Mikkel Madsen, again, very, very close to as a 19-year-old, look at those stats, right? He is a really good, well-rounded player, and Oscar Wang really needs to step up to keep his spot, because Madsen wasn't bad last season. He wasn't bad. 6.82. That's not bad. Sorry, that's actually this season. What is the last season? 6.89. 15 games. See, he didn't get any assists or goals because he's a fullback. He's not supposed to get up and get the assists. But overall, I'm very happy with... The fullback will never get a really high rating because they are not in the final third very often. So, Madsen, I think he's very... Again, we have someone that is a little bit better marking, a little bit better tackling on the fullback area. Yes, they could play as a wingback, but I don't really want them to. I want someone sitting a little bit further back, just that security of having one extra guy in the back when we're playing with ball-playing defenders, and a very, very attacking wingback on the other side. We also have Mads Bayer still. He's a non-contracted now, so I'm okay with that. To me, he's definitely only the third choice, mainly because of his physicals. He's just not someone that is gonna be. But yeah, again, he's very well-rounded. So all the 3 guys we have over here is well-rounded fullbacks. That's what I'm very happy with the fullbacks on. Probably of all the 3 spots down here, or 4 spots, I'm most happy about the left-hand side here. Let's move into the midfield, more specifically the defensive midfield. Now, this is, I wouldn't say it's one of our weakest areas, but it's definitely one of the most thin areas. Right now, we do only have Mikkel and Svaling, and I do not think Mikkel is gonna play here. So, they did sign a new contract. As you can see, Mikkel have 450 wages now, which is a very big contract, but I think he's worth it. He showed us last season that he's definitely worth 450 wages. So it would be a mistake not getting him again, and he was the best player in the club overall. I believe, he's also the captain now. He is our captain, so I think it's a good deal for 450. He is definitely way above most of our players in terms of attributes, average attributes, and I think it was an easy choice here. Also, Svaling, he was getting a new contract yet again. I think he started. What did he start on in our club when he came in? Was it like 160 wages or 120 wages or something like that? Then every time he got a small step up, and now he's on 325. Now again, he's been fantastic, right? He's been absolutely fantastic every season. 7.03, 7.15. And now he's stepping up to the big league here, right? Oh, we actually got him for the first season in the second division. But anyway, he just became better. He just became better the next season. So I don't see why I wouldn't take him again. I think he might be the first choice, because I think Mikkel is going to be first choice further up the pitch, which is kind of leaving our defensive midfield area a bit thin, with only Mads Bayer as the backup to Svaling, or Mikkel coming down to play here as well. This might be an area where we need to yeah, maybe strengthen a little bit. But here's the thing. We don't really need... Actually, do we have anyone? Do we have anyone in the maybe the B team or something? Best suited, let's see. We do have still Oliver Jakobsen down there who could play here, but I don't... Yeah, it's a bit of a risk putting someone like him into the mix here, to be honest. I think that would be... Yeah, he's not really a deep line playmaker at all. I mean, he can play up here, but his numbers are just not good enough in the technical area. And yeah, I don't know. We could put him in here for now, but he's definitely a fourth choice. Let's actually just move him to the senior squad. But I'm concerned about having someone like that as a fourth choice, to be honest. But we'll see if that's going to be the case, or we are going to find someone else. We'll see. But that is the defensive midfield. Right, so let's take a look at the Carrilero. As you can tell, we are playing almost the same system still. Yeah, the Carrilero is again, we are probably the midfield last season was our strongest area in terms of how many players could play there. That was also pretty good. This season, we haven't strengthened our midfield at all. We basically have the same players, right? So Mikkel is probably first choice as a Carrilero in there. So there we go. Then we also got Lobak, but Lobak is probably also the first choice on the Masila role. So, go figure. And then it's getting a little bit thinner, right? We got Lenekile, who actually had a really good season last season. I'm seeing him as the second choice to both the spots right now. He is second choice to both the spots. So you can see how thin the midfield is, right? Mads Bear is probably fourth choice again. Yeah, we are really digging deep here. And then we have Kro, who sometimes come down and play down here, probably not as a Carrilero, but mostly as a Masila. And he has done quite well in that role when we have played him there. So very thin here on the Carrilero role, and same goes for the other side. It's just switched up with Lobak and Mikkel. But otherwise, we do only really have 5 players that can play there, and some of them might not be good enough for this level. I think Mikkel and Lobak is okay with this level of football that we are getting to play now, but the other 3, I don't know. It's a thin. The entire midfield is a little bit thin, right? I am worried about it. But Lobak, yeah, he also staying here for 250 wages, not to forget him. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Mikkel is actually only here for until... Again, we have a problem with some of our players only staying until the winter period. But Lobak, he's here for another year. He is 32 now, so he's probably only here for one more season. But I think he's going to be fine this season. We have a lot of experience in the midfield, to be honest. We do have 2 of our most experienced players are in the midfield, which might actually be good for us. But yeah, his attributes is going to start taking a dip now. So I'm concerned about that, but he's still going to be fine for at least one more season, I think. So yeah, that's our midfield, very thin. And now we're moving into the final third. And in the final third is where we're going to see the most significant change in our team. As you can see here, we have another inverted winger over here. Yeah, so we're going to play with 2 inverted wingers, at least for the first part of this season. And there is a reason to that. I will mention that later on. But for now, we have quite a few players that are new here. And we also have a couple that are, coming in again. Ernebo, right? Let's take a look at him. He's the second choice right now on the right-hand side, probably. And he's not really an inverted winger on the right-hand side. But he's so good. He's been so good that I'm putting him there for now. He has signed a new contract for 350 wages, which is kind of good. I think he deserved that. He is agreed playing time as an important player. We'll see about that. I think I see him more as a squad player, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is, right? So let's take a look at the top player here. He is one of the big signings, star player, 500 wages, big signing, Sjögrell. Swedish player, he is very, very good. Now, let's just not... he's probably our best player in the club right now. Or likely so. Actually, what is his history? I forgot about that one. So he played in the Premier Division, right? He actually played a couple of games in the Premier Division and wasn't terrible. So I think we probably got a really good player on our hand here. So that should be good for us. That should be very good. So he's the first choice on the right-hand side. Here's the thing. He can definitely also go over and play a winger on the other hand, or the other side if we wanted to go for a winger at some stage. And he can also go down and play a Masila or something like that, right? No problem. He can definitely do that. He got the numbers for it. So he could even go down and play a wingback, inverted wingback that is. But at least, like I said, for the first part of this season, we're probably going to play with an inverted winger on the right-hand side here. And he definitely fits the bill. He definitely fits the bill. Very, very good player. Yeah, and he's probably also going to take our free kicks, I believe. Yeah, 12 in free kicks. Him or Ernebo is going to take the free kicks. And also, did he have the... Where is it? Free kick taking... Corners, 11. Yeah, so him and Ernebo is going to be our free kick and corner takers, which is important for our team with what kind of players we have. So, yeah, that's a fantastic signing, I think. For nothing, right? It didn't cost me anything. It's just 500 wages, and there we go. Now, we got a couple of other new players in here as well. First one, or second one, after Shukrel, third choice on the right-hand side here is Leibovic. He is Danish, 22 years old, no wages, non-contracted player, right? I feel like it's a pretty good backup to have, because I do see him as a backup. I believe he was contracted as a French player, yeah. So, as a French player, this guy who can play anywhere up front. He can also play up here as a pressing forward or poacher, and he can go over here as because he's he got two pretty good feet here. So he can also go over and play an inverted winger on the other side. He's a pretty fantastic player to have, because he can just play everywhere, and he is a French player. So very good to have him on the bench and put him in late in the game, and he can probably do some damage with 14 flair, good teamwork, good work rate. So this guy even works really, really well in the pressure. Because he do have the mentals for the pressure and decent physicals for the pressure as well. He's pretty tall as well, so he can go up and play up front as a pressing forward, and even plop them in with pretty good finishing and composure as well. I'm actually quite surprised we got him in. Got this guy for no wages. I think he's way better than no wages, but well, there we go. That's it is what it is, right? So very good one for the third choice here. This is probably our strongest area in our team right now, the right-hand side. That's quite funny, right? And we also got Fisnik Isaki, another new player on 190 wages. Kind of the same deal. This guy is also someone who could go down and play Masila. He could play inverted winger here or inside forward. He's probably more an inside forward, but I'm probably gonna play him as an inverted winger. He doesn't have the decision or vision to play like that, but you know, he's probably fourth choice, so it's okay. And he can also go up and play as some sort of striker. Not sure exactly how good he is up there, but again, I was looking for players that were quite fast, got some decent finishing, and overall just could do the, you know, kind of inverted winger or inside forward role. And I think, again, I got another player here for quite cheap that can do that. He's Albanian, actually, but he's also a Danish homegrown. I don't know where he actually came from. FC Copenhagen. There we go. But yeah, he is, of course, also Danish homegrown. Fairly decent player. I'm pretty happy with having him as a fourth choice. Yeah, fourth choice. I mean, if you have someone like that as a fourth choice, then you're looking quite good in that area. And we also got a couple of youngsters. We got Hedegaard, who's coming up because we need registration. We need to register a couple of youngsters. So that's, yeah, I mean, he's probably not going to play. We also got Cole, who could come out here and play. Again, same deal, probably not going to play. He's more a winger, actually, on that side, so probably not. And also Kath could come up here as the fullback as the seventh choice. So yeah, we got plenty of players that can play in this area. Right, so let's check out the other side, the AML on the other side here. So we still have Funamang in there, and he is first choice for now. Star player, 350 wages. I honestly couldn't find anyone that was better than him. Well, Shukrel is better than him probably, but he's gonna play on the other side. So, I mean, for 350 wages, I think we have a pretty good player. He did okay last season. Like, don't get me wrong, he was actually quite good last season. Why is it not showing? What the hell? What? Sorry, what? What is going on here? That's a bug. Where is his stats from last season? It's just gone. That's really odd, isn't it? I don't know what happened here. Huh. I mean, I think he had above 7.0 in his average ratings last season. That's so strange. I don't think I've ever seen this bug. This kind of bug, I don't think I've ever seen this before. His statistics are just not there. That is strange. Wow, okay, but anyway, I am pretty sure that he had 7.03 in average rating last season, so he did actually quite well when he played, overall, I would say. So yeah, he's back again, and yeah, I think he's gonna be quite good for this season as well. Yeah, I mean, could we have gotten someone better? Potentially. I mean, Sugar could be better on that side, but he's probably gonna be playing on the other side, like I said. Got Ernebo, third choice, who could also play over there. And we also got Leibovic. Yeah, I think Miguel Leibovic. I think that's how you say it, Leibovic. Who could also play over there. And then we got Ramkile, who is still at the club. He is on 190 wages now. But I do not see him as a inverted winger that we're going to play over there for... Again, we got better players for that spot now, in my opinion. And then we also got Kroh still, who could come over and play here. He's probably better on this side. And we also got Öhlensleger, who is coming back. We used him a little bit in the first season, but again, the registrations, we need some homegrown players to the club, and he's one of those. Probably never gonna get any playtime, but that doesn't really matter. We just need to register him. So yeah, Funmang, Sugar, Ernebol. Again, some of the players are going, you know, both of them. So some of these players can play both sides, so that's why they're both they're in there. But I think our inverted wingback area, or sorry, not inverted, the inverted winger area is probably our strongest area, right? All right, the last place is the striker area. Now, this is gonna be a little bit interesting. For the first part of the season, we got Ramkile, right? We got Ernebo, we got Legovic, and we got Isaki, who could play up there. So yeah, Ernebo is like second choice also in all three spots. So I think he will get his playtime. Ramkile is probably right now the first choice striker, and you might sit there thinking, what? You're gonna play with Ramkile as the first choice? Yeah, I am, because I'm gonna play with a pressing forward for the first part of the season here. And I keep saying that. And as you might maybe have noticed already now, we do have another player on the list, and that is Tekin Ulgun. Unfortunately, we are not gonna get him before the winter break. Yeah. But we have signed him. We have signed him. He is coming in, and he is gonna get 500 in wages. I don't care. He might not look very good. He might not look very good in here in the attribute, but just because he got some... Just because of his jumping reach of 19, his strength of 15, his heading of 13, and the aggression of 11, and some pretty decent averages in his mentals, at least they're not too low. He's, even in this league, he is still gonna get 20 goals if he was playing the entire season. He would still be getting 20 goals from the corners and the free kicks and, you know, just being that shitty big house in there in the box area. But of course... The problem is, we will not get him until the winter break. So that's why we are playing with an inverted winger over here. When we do get him, I have a feeling we might move over to using a target forward, you know, Ulgun in there instead. Ramkile can also play a target forward, but for now I want to use a pressing forward up there, because I think how we're playing makes more sense to have a pressing forward in there. But I think when Ulgun is coming in, we might move it over to a target forward and use Ulgun instead. So... I would say we are not really strong right now in the striker area, but hopefully, because I see it as a fun... these inverted wingers, I see them as strikers as well. I don't see them as midfielders, right? I see them as someone who's going to come into the box area very, very often when we are attacking, and also the way we are attacking. So, yeah, it's... I think we are okay, but we'll see, right? But that's our strikers as well. So that's the entire squad, how we have them right now. And I don't know if we are strong enough this season to do anything really good. I doubt that. But let's actually take a look at that, right? Let's take a look at that. This is the new league we're going to be playing in, and as we can see, there are some pretty big names in here. Sønderjyske is in there. Ooh, Vejle is in there. Ooh, yeah. I mean, this is the second best division in Denmark, so it's, of course, there's going to be some big names. Horsens is in there. I mean, it's gonna be a tough time. Lyngby. That's also not going to be fun. But let's check out what the prediction is. I haven't checked it out, actually. But I would think that we are probably dead last on this list. Yeah, 251 in odds. So what you could expect here, guys, is survival. If we can survive this first season and then strengthen next season after that, yeah, then we would be pretty good. There is a lot of teams in here that I can't see us get any points from them, like Vejle and Lyngby, maybe Sønderjyske as well, Horsens. I think it's going to be really tough unless they have a really terrible season. Some of these teams here are good enough to also be part of the best division in Denmark, so our team is just not strong enough for that kind of level. It isn't. So if we can just survive this season, then we have done really well. Right, that's gonna be the goal, survival. Or just try and survive, actually. I would say just try and survive. Just be in the area where we can maybe survive and not be dead last. That is kind of the goal for this season. The last thing I want to mention in this episode is, of course, the tactic, but you have already seen it, right? It's we play with the inverted winger out here instead, and we have the pressing forward up here. Otherwise, it's exactly the same all the way through. We just play with inverted wingers instead for the first part of the season. We might change it back when we get Ølgun, but we'll see about that. Also, I'm not really playing for the set pieces here because we don't have Ølgun in there, so it doesn't really matter with playing for the set pieces. We kind of need to find a way through, and that's why we have an extra inverted winger in the normal kind of open play, right? So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little episode with the preseason stuff. It's probably the time of Football Manager I enjoy the most, the entire preseason. Oh right, I forgot to show you how the preseason went. It wasn't really great. It wasn't that great. It wasn't bad either, but we did lose to Vendsyssel quite big here. That was a pretty terrible match to lose. But of course, Vendsyssel is a pretty big team. But overall, it didn't really go that well, but it wasn't terrible either. You can see the last two matches here. We played someone that is in the leagues just below us. But I am a little bit concerned for this season, of course, because now we're up against some way better opponents. This is another step up in terms of if we take a look at Horsens here and just take a look at, I don't know if we can actually see any of their players because there is, let's just take a look at their best players here for this guy. We can't really see all his numbers, but you can definitely see that the average ratings are way higher than ours. They are gonna be pretty hard to beat, some of these opponents here. Look at that. I mean, that's gonna be crazy, right? It's gonna be crazy to win against these guys. And this is not even the best team in the league. They're probably 4th or 5th best in the league, and they do have some really good players in there. So yeah, I do expect us to struggle quite a bit in the league. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and next time we will have actually, instead of normally where we have this cup here, we actually have two normal games first. So we're gonna play against Helsingør and also Fredericia in the first two games. So yeah, guys, I hope to see you in that one. See you around, folks.